Never plant tomatoes without this secret mix. If you want bigger fruits, more tomatoes, and stronger roots fast, you really need to pay attention to what you put in the ground. One weak tomato plant can waste an entire season. You water it, feed it, wait patiently, and still end up with thin stems, yellow leaves, and tiny fruits. Meanwhile, another gardener harvests baskets of heavy, juicy tomatoes from plants that look unstoppable. The difference is often not expensive fertilizer or rare products. It is what goes into the planting hole and what reaches the roots in the first few weeks. So, if you want larger fruits, more flowers, stronger roots and healthier growth, this simple homemade tomato starter mix can make a real difference. Tomatoes are heavy feeders. They need energy early, calcium for healthy development, magnesium for leaf strength, and a thriving root zone that can pull nutrients from the soil quickly. That is why many gardeners fail when they simply transplant seedlings into plain soil and hope for the best. Tomatoes reward preparation, and this method gives them exactly what they need when it matters most. The powerful tomato root soak mix is really simple, but it works wonders. Before planting, give your seedlings a root soak. This helps reduce transplant shock and wakes up the roots so they begin spreading fast after planting. Mix the following into 1 gallon of water: 1 tablespoon sugar, 1 tablespoon powdered milk, 1 tablespoon Epsom salt. Stir until fully dissolved. Place the tomato seedling root ball into the solution for 10 to 15 minutes before planting. If the plant is in a container, just water the root zone thoroughly with the mix until moist. This combination works because each ingredient supports a different part of plant health. Sugar provides a quick energy source for beneficial soil microbes. Healthy microbial life helps break down nutrients in the soil so roots can absorb them faster. It does not directly feed the plant like fertilizer, but it helps create a more active soil environment. Powdered milk contains calcium, proteins, and trace minerals. Calcium is especially important for tomatoes because it supports cell wall strength and helps reduce blossom end rot, that dark, sunken spot that appears on the bottom of fruits. Epsom salt provides magnesium and sulfur. Magnesium is needed for chlorophyll production, which powers photosynthesis. More chlorophyll means greener leaves and stronger energy production. Sulfur also supports overall plant metabolism. What to add in the planting hole, you might wonder? Well, after soaking the roots, it's important to prepare the planting hole properly. Dig a deep hole, and if the seedling is tall, bury about 2/3 of the stem. Tomato stems, you see, will actually grow extra roots wherever they're buried, which creates a much larger root system. Into the hole, add a good handful of compost or aged organic matter. Then water lightly before placing the plant in. Once the seedling is positioned, fill the hole with soil and press gently. After planting, pour 1 to 2 cups of the leftover root soak around the base of the plant. This gives the surrounding soil the same boost you gave the roots. Why does this method help produce bigger tomatoes? Well, large fruits don't just come from luck. They come from strong roots, steady moisture, balanced nutrients, and of course, healthy leaves. When roots establish quickly, the plant spends less time recovering from transplanting and more time growing. That early momentum leads to thicker stems, more branches, and more flowering sites. And more flowers usually mean more tomatoes. Calcium from powdered milk helps fruits develop with fewer defects. Magnesium from Epsom salt helps the leaves stay dark green and productive, which means the plant can build more sugars and energy for fruit swelling. A weak plant produces small fruit because it just lacks the power to support heavy harvests. But a strong plant pushes out larger clusters and fuller tomatoes. When should you repeat the feeding? Use the root soak only at planting time, or once again 2 weeks later as a light drench. For the second feeding, mix 1 gallon of water, 1 teaspoon sugar, 1 teaspoon powdered milk, and 1 teaspoon Epsom salt. Apply 2 cups around each plant. Do not overuse it. More is not always better. Tomatoes need balance, not constant stimulation. After that, switch to normal feeding with compost tea, balanced tomato fertilizer, or rich organic soil support. Watering really does make or break your results. Even the best mix out there will fail if your watering is inconsistent. Tomatoes need evenly moist soil, especially once those fruits start forming. If the soil swings from bone dry to soaked, the plants get stressed, flowers might drop, and fruits can crack. It's best to water deeply at the base, not just lightly over the leaves. A thick mulch layer, like straw, dry grass, or shredded leaves, helps keep roots cool and moisture stable. This is actually where many gardeners lose harvest size. They feed well, but, water poorly. There are some common mistakes to avoid. First, don't pour dry Epsom salt directly into the planting hole in large amounts. Always dilute it in water. Too much salt concentration can really stress the roots. Also, don't use fresh milk in hot weather around the base repeatedly, since it can spoil and attract pests. Powdered milk, diluted properly, is the better option. And don't add too much sugar. Just a small amount is enough to stimulate microbial activity. Excess sugar can upset the soil balance. Here are a few extra tricks for even more tomatoes. Pinch off the lowest leaves before planting so they don't touch the soil. This helps reduce disease splash. Always plant in full sun, since tomatoes need at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight for top production. Support your plants early with stakes or cages. Upright plants get better airflow and cleaner fruit. Remove weeds quickly so nutrients go to the tomato roots, not to unwanted plants. And feed consistently once flowering starts. A hungry tomato plant just can't hold a heavy crop. Now, is this better than store fertilizer? Well, this mix is best used as a starter boost, not as a complete season-long fertilizer. Think of it as giving your tomatoes a head start. It supports roots, reduces transplant stress, and helps the plant establish faster. Later in the season, though, plants still need regular nutrition from compost or balanced fertilizer. That combination is what really creates truly massive harvests. Final thoughts then. Never underestimate what happens in the first week after planting. That short window often decides whether your tomato plant becomes average or exceptional. A quick root soak made with sugar, powdered milk and Epsom salt can help seedlings settle faster, grow stronger roots, and build the energy needed for bigger fruits and more tomatoes. Try this method in your garden this season and compare the results for yourself. If you love practical growing tips that actually work, subscribe to The Garden Life, share this with another gardener, and, well, keep growing smarter every season.